brilliant speed with vibrant service, vibrant broadband internet.
10:30 on a Wednesday morning. You know what that means? No, you don't turn your radio off. You turn it up. You turn it up. Because, just like in Leonard Skinner's tune, turn it up.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, because it's time to be vibrant.
Absolutely.
How are you?
Good. How are you?
Good morning.
I'm well. I'm well.
You have pants on today, no shorts. It's the sign.
Thank you for noticing that.
He always has some sort of
just to be.
Oh,
He's
okay.
usually in shorts.
He's always in shorts, and now we've adjusted to the weather.
We've
and now you're
adjusted
in,
a little
yes, bit. Yes.
Yeah,
I
they're still
noticed
hanging there where I can get to them, those shorts.
Okay.
They're right there.
Well, thanks, Randy, pants and all. Welcome to another Vibrant You Live. I'm Jane.
I'm Nathan.
And I'm Bo.
So last week, we were pretty busy. We were at Trunk or Treat. Shane and I were in Paynesville, and it was extremely cold, but it was a great turnout. We had over 400 kids there. We handed out our Vibrant football, so that was pretty exciting, and the kids loved those. And then you guys were at...
Yeah, we were in Litchfield for Trunk or Treat, and you know what? We did see a guy in shorts. It wasn't Randy, but there was a guy. It was freezing out there, but the kids were happy to get the candy, get the footballs. There was a huge turnout.
Yep.
Some of those kids were wearing thin costumes, and none of them seemed to be complaining. None of them even seemed to be cold. The parents were very clearly cold, but the kids, when it comes to Halloween, they just turn it off. They just can turn off that cold factor and power through.
I was freezing. We had our speaker out there, and we were playing Halloween music, and I had everything bundled up, and I was jumping around to stay warm, and it was just absolutely freezing. We saw a lot of Wednesday costumes. Spider-Man.
Wednesday Addams was popular this year. Spider-Man, those blow-up dinosaur ones.
those
Yeah,
were
but
funny.
Halloween was on Tuesday.
Trunk or treats were over the weekend.
was Saturday and Sunday, Randy.
Okay, so that was Saturday and Sunday. Why are you seeing Wednesday costumes?
Ouch.
That's another knee slapper.
Sorry.
Yes. All right. So then last week we also talked about the expansion of where we are, what we're building out. So Nathan.
Yeah,
does
just a
great job.
quick recap. For those that weren't aware, we built out fiber throughout the city of Litchfield last year, and that's ready to go. We're installing homes and businesses all over Litchfield. Paynesville, we also wrapped up earlier this summer, and then Grove City, we just recently completed a couple weeks ago, basically. So, and then Atwater will be getting complete in the next couple weeks probably. So if you live in any of those cities or towns, it's a great time to give us a call. Winter is coming, and we do install all winter, but the sooner the better if you want to get better service.
Absolutely. And then this week we're going to dive into email.
Email, what does it mean?
What does it
Where
mean?
is it coming? Where is it going? So for those that don't know, and I feel most people probably have an email at this point, but if you don't know, email is basically having an electronic mailbox that you can send and receive basically electronic letters to. For those, before it was email, it was you'd send somebody a letter, you'd write their physical address on an envelope, get a stamp, give it to the post office, and it would get delivered. Email is the same kind of idea. You can send a note, a quick note. It could be 2 seconds, or it could be 2 words long. It could be a huge paragraph. It's an email. You can send pictures and even audio files and videos. But email's been really popular since probably the 90s. It actually dates all the way back to the 70s is when email was first started. Not that people were really using it in the 70s, at least regular people weren't. The first email system was called ARPANET, and then they started using the @ symbol. And for those, it looks like a little spiral kind of. The @ symbol kind of separates your personal account, and then everything after the @ is kind of your domain. So it's at Gmail or Outlook or whatever. So that's kind of how emails addresses are listed. If you weren't familiar with that. In the original, when people didn't have emails and they were getting internet for the first time, a lot of internet providers were actually providing people with their first email accounts. So if you had, an internet provider for a long, long time, you may have the email that they provided you when you first got their service. This has kind of been phased out. You don't see a lot of internet providers doing that. Vibrant doesn't really provide emails. And we'll go into why in a little bit, but there's so many free email services that are honestly probably better and more robust than you would get from your typical typical internet service provider. But that's kind of how a lot of people have their first emails, which makes it a little bit of a hassle when you're trying to change to a different email or change to a different internet provider. We'll go into more details of that in a minute as well. So just a couple quick fun facts about email. Randy, how many emails do you think are sent per second?
14,275.
You were close.
Really?
2.7 million emails per second. You were not close.
Closer
was not
than
close.
you did say a number, so that
Yeah,
was,
I did. I could have said 2.
2.7 million emails a second. And Randy, if you don't read your email, if the average email is not read in 24 hours,
Yes.
what percentage of them will get read after 24 hours?
Probably 4.
1%.
Wow.
Good guess.
Comically, in my Gmail account, I have over 8,000 unread. So that's gonna
Pretty common.
validate that
Thousands.
statement,
Nice.
right?
Yeah.
Work is a little different. We were talking about that. I have 74 unread, but I keep them in there because I like to revisit them.
Your mailman would not like you if you had left hundreds or thousands of
Your
letters
mailbox.
in your mailbox. So
Yeah.
Well, you
It's all good.
could leave a check in there then. That wouldn't be good.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah, and so what we're going to go into next is why would you want to change your email and what are some of the benefits to doing that. So Nathan and I have a history of working in the cell phone industry, and when someone would come in and they had a brand new phone, but they were putting an older internet service provided email on there, it was a big pain because those are not kept up. They don't really have a tech team behind them as much, so they're really difficult to get on there. Sometimes they would have issues that other emails just wouldn't have. So that's one of the biggest reasons is your newer devices are going to work better with more standard emails like Gmail, Outlook, Yahoo. So that gives you a little bit more independence. So if you were to move away from an internet service provider, you're not stuck with that email and stuck with all the hassles that come along with that. And also, like with Gmail, you get Google Docs with it. You get an access to making a YouTube account with it. So there are things attached to it that make it more beneficial. And then they have better security. Gmail is nationwide, worldwide. So they have a team behind them making sure that your email is set for you, not getting hacked. It's easy to get on devices. So you'll get all of those benefits along with, switching your email.
Plus, it's free.
Plus it's free.
It's free.
Exactly.
Many providers, you can get them free, like I said. And then also, you had mentioned this earlier, but the spam filtering is much better with a Gmail or an Outlook. So that is great. And then compatibility. It's user friendly. Everybody typically knows that.
You can use it
Gmail.
worldwide on basically
Yep.
any device, computer,
Absolutely.
cell phone. Yep.
Yep. And then reliability. They're up and they're running and they're working, as opposed to if your internet provider email goes down, then we don't know what the ETA to get it up and running is.
Yeah, and you have your iPhones and you have your Androids. Those Android phones are run through Gmail. So I mean, half the phones in the world are run on a Gmail account and need that to operate. So you know that it's going to be maintained.
So when I left my other company, most of my emails were going into that email address, and I thought I did a really good job of cleaning that out and making sure that I transferred it over to my Gmail account and everything. But there were just a couple of them that I kind of forgot, and those are. So I'll never be able to do a Uber
Jane's given up on Uber.
because I have my.
You
email
can create a
address.
new account,
I
Jane.
know,
You
I
might
know.
have to.
I know I'm gonna have to do that, but it's funny because we were somewhere and my daughter's like, I go, I don't know where this email's going.
No, you're out of luck at that point.
Exactly.
I mean, there's a number of reasons you could need to switch a different email. Like we mentioned, if you have it set up with your internet provider and you move to an area that you can't get that provider, you may be out of luck. You might have to get a new email. So we try to tell people to plan ahead. Go ahead and set up a new email now. There's no harm in having multiple emails. I think these days most people have 2 or 3 emails. I have at least 3, 4, I think, with my work email. Some of them I use for different things. One of them I kind of use for my junk mail. If someone asks me for an email for some sort of sweepstakes or something, I'll maybe give them that one so I don't get the quote unquote junk emails. And then I have a more professional one. Most people set up their email these days. Most people set up their email when they were like in middle school or in high school. So you see a lot of like cool guy 75. But then when you become an adult and you're giving it on resumes and work, you're like, that was what I went through. I was like, maybe I should create a different email that's a little less.
See, I grew up when email first started, so I don't have anything like that.
No, yours are so professional, I'm sure.
Yes, absolutely.
But I know
I just changed it to Gmail, so
There
come
you
on.
go.
Yeah.
I know, like, an example is my father-in-law has worked for the same company for like 30 years. And so his only email that he mainly uses is his work email, which he got long time ago, but he's about to retire. So he's going to lose access to that email. So I've been telling him ahead of time, hey, we need to set you up a new email. You need to start filtering out, your Facebook account, your Netflix, your bank account. A lot of stuff can be associated with your email. And if you're going to lose that email address, like Jane mentioned, it may be hard to access some of these stuff if that email's gone. So plan ahead. If you think you're going to make a change, your company, you're going to lose your company email, you're going to switch internet providers, you're going to move away, make sure you have one that you can take with you that's more universal. If you're thinking, I want to make a change, what do I do? A couple things is you want to figure out which company you want to go with. We mentioned a couple names. Probably the most one we recommend is Gmail. Mm-hmm. It seems to be the easiest to set up. It's probably one of the most universally popular now. You'll see when you're setting up an account for Facebook or Netflix, some of these things, sometimes right there you can say, just associate with my Google account, and it'll like kind of automatically do some of that stuff for you. So Gmail is extremely popular. Outlook, Yahoo, Hotmail. These companies have been around a long time. They focus on email. That's kind of their bread and butter. So they're going to be a little bit better than one of your more basic ones. So basically the sign up part's easy. It's like give them your first, last name, your birthday, and then you come up with your email address for the most part. Mm-hmm. And if you can't think of a good email, these companies will even give you recommendations. So you put in your first and last name and it'd say, well, here's a recommendation, suchandsuch.com. If your name's like Nathan Johnson or probably Bo Johnson, that cursed Johnson name is so popular. Usually you're not going to be able to just have Nathan Johnson at Gmail. You're probably going to have a lot of numbers.
Yeah, there's
symbols.
millions of those around.
Yeah.
So someone's already taken that one. So just add a couple numbers to the end and you should be good.
Yeah. And then once you get that new email address, then the hardest part is probably updating all your accounts. Your bank account, you got to log in, update your email, your Netflix, your Facebook, anything you have associated with that email. That's kind of the hard part, is updating all those logins.
Well, and it's like keeping an eye on them too. So you have your old email address, and then if you get a new email, then you go into that account, change it, and then give it the update on your Gmail or Hotmail or whatever you prefer.
And sometimes you don't want to update a lot of them. You might get these days, if you've had email for dozens of years, you may get so much junk mail. You say it's kind of nice to start fresh. Maybe I won't get all these ones I don't want. I can just update the ones I'd like to get.
Yeah, and then now would be the time, if you're going to make a new email, make sure you update all your passwords. If there's a password you haven't changed in maybe a decade, go ahead and give it a little refresh. A lot of people just don't remember the passwords they use for an email account they've had for a long time. So when you're changing, now would be the time to get those passwords update. And you can just make sure your family and your friends have that new email. So like Nathan said, you can start fresh. And then you can give your family and friends the email, so you don't, maybe instead of getting 100 emails a day, you're only getting maybe 10. And then if you're a business, if you're a smaller business, these steps would also apply to you, because typically if you're a small business, you don't have an IT department. So you want to follow these steps in making sure you take advantage of getting an email that's not attached to an internet service provider. If you're a larger business, typically you're going to have that email tied to your website. So for example, here at KLFD, their email address ends in @klfdradio.com because it's attached to their KLFD radio website. So if you're a larger business, you really don't have to worry about it. It's going to be attached to the website. So these steps wouldn't really apply to you. But those are just some things to think about.
I know some companies will offer business grade emails, like both Google, Outlook. They specialize in business accounts that give you some added business features, stuff like that. If you're a smaller business, sometimes you don't need to necessarily dabble in that, maybe more than you need, but there's great options. If you're a business, you don't have to pay a lot of money. You can still get a free account. So
right. The other thing is, at Vibrant, we don't have email, which is great. So you can keep your email addresses the way they are, and we're good to go. The other thing is, so what do you do with your old email address? And I had mentioned this earlier. So basically you keep your old email address, and then you kind of just keep paying a little bit of attention to that, and then update the ones that you want to go into your new account. And then a good recommendation is probably like 6 months, because sometimes we forget things like Uber.
Keep them both for 6 months or so. Or just like you said, if you come across you have to log into Netflix or Uber or something.
Right.
Oh, shoot, I used my old email. I got to go update
Right.
that. And you may not be able to update it if you don't still have access to that one.
And a lot of internet providers, if you do call them before you cancel that service, they do give you that option to keep that email address for X amount of months. And sometimes they just disconnect and you're done. You could have an option to pay X amount of dollars a month. So that's
Depends
a
on
good
your
thing.
provider,
Right.
for sure.
Yep. Yep. And then the other part is getting your information to your friends and family, right? So you want to just send your friends and family your email, from your new email address. This is my new update. And so
For sure.
keep it up to date.
Yeah, and we kind of want to highlight some upcoming events that we're doing too with Vibrant. 2 weeks from today, on the 15th, Wednesday the 15th, we're doing our next Vibrant You Dreaming of Streaming class. For those that don't know, we do almost a monthly Dreaming of Streaming class because we've had so much, we still get a lot of people that attend these, and we have to do them almost once a month. So if you're interested in learning how to stream, why you would want to stream, what streaming is, can I save money? I pay too much for cable, all this kind of stuff we go over in our classes, and we also demonstrate how to do it on the TVs, and there's a lot of Q&A. So if you think it's overwhelming, you think, I got to ask dumb questions, there's no dumb questions. We have people that already know how to do it and people that have never done it before. It's a good mix of people, but it's a good place to start. If it's a free class, you don't have to be a customer, you don't have to have Vibrant, you don't have to sign up for Vibrant. It's a free class for the community, so absolutely come on out. That's
People do. Oh, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say it's at 5:30 in November 15th, and we don't have one in December, so this will be the last one until January.
I was just going to say, people come back multiple times because you learn something new every time. I know we do.
Sure. I mean, it's a lot to take in. I'd be surprised if anybody walked away and like, oh, I'm now the master of it. So yeah, absolutely. People come multiple times just to kind of get it all figured out. So if you missed part of today's radio show or you want to listen back to previous radio shows, we do put these on our Facebook and our YouTube page. You can search Vibrant Broadband for that. Also, check us out every Wednesday here on KLFD at 10:30. We always love having people out. And then if you have questions about setting up an email or why you would want a new email, stuff like that, you can give us a call, 693-3231, or visit our website at vibrantbroadband.com.
Yeah, because who wouldn't want to be vibrant? And we want to thank Randy Pansanal for having us. Thank you for listening on Thank KLFD. I'm Bo.
I'm Jane.
And I'm Nathan.
And tune in next Wednesday for another Vibrant You Live.
Brilliant speed with Vibrant service. Vibrant broadband internet. Vibrant broadband internet.